Colombia's president claims that cocaine is no worse than whiskey and would be sold like wine if legalized globally. Despite ongoing discoveries of clandestine graves in Mexico, the government has ceased releasing statistics. 2 years ago, a nonprofit reported that Mexico was uncovering 1.8 clandestine graves each day. Tunisia has resumed its crackdown on political dissent, jailing opposition politicians and journalists. The opposition leader Ghannouchi received a new 22-year prison sentence. 4 months ago, Tunisia reportedly imprisoned presidential candidate Ayachi Zamel for 12 years. 8 months ago, leading opposition figure Musi was sentenced to jail. Apple is developing a tabletop robot with realistic movements, expected to launch by 2027. Civilization 7 has had a difficult beginning, earning mixed reviews on Steam from its premium supporters. This unfinished mess is nothing like the Civ 6 release. LeBron James has set a new record as the oldest player to score 40 points in NBA history, achieving 42 points in the Lakers' win.
Ireland and Spain should take Palestinians, Israeli minister says. In Israel, in meeting with Foreign Minister Sayar, top Italian diplomat says Rome will no longer work with UNRWA. Also, Tajani tells Sayar 2 states is solution for future. Netanyahu told U.S. officials war could end if Hamas leaders go into exile, claim sources.
Trump is considering allowing states to manage schools and is contemplating significant reductions to the U.S. Education Department. Elon Musk has remarked that the Department of Education is no longer relevant. Elon Musk's Doge is reportedly processing sensitive federal data into AI to identify areas for cuts, and Elon Musk's Doge is developing a personalized chatbot named GSAI. Chris Anderson is offering TED to anyone with the most innovative idea for its future.
Linus Bio introduces ClearStrand ASD, a revolutionary autism biomarker that allows healthcare providers to exclude autism with just 1 strand of hair. Meanwhile, the CDC briefly shares information on bird flu transmission between cats and humans before removing it. Additionally, the NCAA in the U.S. implements a new policy restricting transgender student athletes to competing in women's sports only if they were assigned female at birth.
Trump alleges that media outlets receive payments to produce favorable stories about Democrats, intensifying a conspiracy theory regarding Politico's compensation. Hungary's leader charges USAID with financing left-wing media across Europe. Remarks have noted that USAID allocated $44,000 to Politico, contrary to the White House's assertion of over $8 million. The payment was for subscriptions, and the White House plans to cancel $8 million in Politico subscriptions following the spread of a misleading right-wing conspiracy theory.
Bolivia and Argentina investigate an illegal hunting network responsible for the deaths of jaguars. Humpback whale songs exhibit patterns similar to those found in human language. Indonesia mandates the cessation of tourism projects associated with Trump due to environmental concerns. Putin's North Korean troops have reportedly been removed from the front line, according to Seoul's intelligence agency, while Zelensky claims they have returned. An Azerbaijan Airlines plane that crashed en route to Russia was reportedly found with numerous holes. As per a report, and Azerbaijan is intensifying a rare conflict with Russia regarding the passenger plane's downing. The Baltic countries have terminated their electricity connections to Russia via the Soviet-era grid and are strengthening their EU alliance.
Trump places sanctions on the ICC, claiming it focuses on the U.S. and Israel. Meanwhile, numerous countries oppose these sanctions by the Trump administration. Israel decides to cease interaction with the UN Human Rights Council, citing alleged bias. Additionally, a leaked document indicates that a large-scale immigration enforcement action is imminent in Los Angeles.
UK mandates Apple to permit surveillance on users' encrypted accounts. The DeepSeek iOS application transmits data unencrypted to servers controlled by ByteDance, and DeepSeek limits access to AI model due to increased demand overwhelming capacity. Japan's financial services agency directs Apple and Google to eliminate Bybit, KuCoin, and 3 cryptocurrency exchange applications from their platforms.
NASA will conduct its inaugural Twitch stream from the International Space Station. Blue Origin, owned by Bezos, replicates lunar gravity for NASA experiments during space travel. Investors are concerned about the financial health of Eutelsat and SES as the threat from Starlink approaches.
Google is experimenting with an AI mode in its search engine to provide answers to all your open-ended questions. Microsoft has launched an AI-driven scareware blocker for its Edge browser. Amazon has committed $26 billion per quarter to enhance its Gen AI capabilities and undergo a retail transformation.
The Prince Netflix documentary, which has stirred controversy, will not be released. The estate now has the freedom to develop a new project. Carla Sofia Gaskin expresses her hope that her silence will contribute to Emilia Perez being appreciated for what it is in a new apology following a director's description of her as self-destructive. Christie's has withdrawn an El Greco masterpiece due to an ownership dispute with Romania.
J.D. Vance is selected to manage the possible TikTok sale with an April 5th deadline approaching. Trump announces that reciprocal tariffs will be declared for every nation next week, and he halts the de minimis repeal as packages accumulate at U.S. Customs. Trudeau informs an audience that Trump's threat to annex Canada is real and driven by the desire to access essential minerals.
Emissions from powering AI data centers are expected to lead to significant health issues, potentially resulting in 600,000 asthma cases and $20 billion in health expenses by 2030. According to DeepSeek research, Huawei's Ascend 910C achieves 60% of the inference performance of NVIDIA's H100. DeepMind asserts that its AI surpasses the abilities of gold medalists in the International Mathematical Olympiad.
India reduces interest rates for the first time in almost 5 years to stimulate economic growth amid declining inflation. The Bank of England lowers rates, anticipating increased inflation and diminished growth. Trump announces that the U.S. and Japan will collaborate to reduce the trade deficit while meeting with Toshiba. Donald Trump indicates a desire to engage in discussions with Iran regarding the nuclear agreement. Trump asserts, "We will establish relations with North Korea." It is reported that the U.S. restrictions on semiconductors have impacted China more significantly than anticipated, with TSMC proceeding cautiously. New Jeans, a K-pop group, has rebranded as NJZ and revealed performance dates for March while dealing with a contract dispute. Christie's is organizing an auction featuring only AI-generated art. A court has ruled that liking a post containing a porn deepfake can result in liability, as seen in the Megan Thee Stallion lawsuit. Elon Musk's X is under criminal investigation in France due to concerns about algorithm manipulation. German non-profit organizations have succeeded in a lawsuit for access to public data against Elon Musk's X has acquired a new ad tech partner in an effort to attract additional advertisers.
France and the UAE have signed a significant agreement for an AI data center, potentially valued at up to $50 billion. DeepSeek's AI model, described as efficient, is influencing the energy market, leading to discussions about demand. Meanwhile, Chevron is considering gas-powered plants for data centers. Additionally, AI chip company Cerebras has collaborated with France's Mistral, asserting a speed record.
Bloomberg notes that Wall Street is experiencing a more concealed era of stock trading. Trump aims to close a contentious tax loophole that has significantly increased the wealth of Wall Street's elite for many years, and investment groups are against Trump's proposal to raise the carried interest tax, as Trump plans to terminate carried interest and broaden SALT in his tax legislation. Trump confirms the United States' withdrawal from the International Tax Agreement.
Netflix is contemplating a bid for the Formula One television rights. Spotify and Warner Music have entered into a new multi-year agreement. Warner Music has acquired songs by Bruno Mars and Adele in a $450 million transaction.
Honeywell, HON, divides into three due to financial worries. Nikola, a producer of hydrogen trucks, approaches bankruptcy documentation. Trump predicts Nippon will withdraw $15 billion offer for U.S. steel, yet significantly engage in it.
Gemini is considering an IPO as cryptocurrency companies advance their listing plans. The Melania memecoin has plummeted by 90% from its highest point as its novelty appeal diminishes. It is said that USDC has completely recovered from the FTX market crash. Fintech company Klarna is aiming for a US IPO in April.
Trump plans to establish a religious office in the White House to address anti-Christian bias. The Trump administration is taking steps to halt the national rollout of electric vehicle chargers. Trump announces his intention to undo Biden's initiative aimed at eliminating plastic straws. UNESCO finishes restoring Mosul heritage sites harmed by ISIS. A 300-year-old Stradivarius violin fetches $11 million at a New York auction. The Metropolitan Museum of Art hosts its first major retrospective in the U.S. focused on Caspar David Friedrich. A Doge staffer resigns over racist posts. Elon Musk demands firing of disgusting and cruel Wall Street Journal reporter who uncovered Doge employees' racist tweets. Vance and Trump call for rehiring of Doge staffer who quit over racist posts. Musk obliges.
In the United States, the Treasury is focusing on an oil network that is providing hundreds of millions of dollars to Iran's military. The Trump administration has dissolved a task force aimed at Russian oligarchs. Reuters notes that while Trump's minimal cancellation is concerning for Temu, it poses an even greater threat to Shine. Ad buyers criticize Google, Amazon, and others for ads appearing on a site with child abuse content. Hearst Magazines introduces Aura, a first-party AI ad targeting tool, to global markets. The Science Museum in the UK claims Lego is anti-LGBT and only supports two genders. Meta partners with UNESCO to develop a groundbreaking AI program for speech and translation.
Microsoft reports that cybercriminals exploit unprotected ASP.NET keys to distribute malware. Spanish law enforcement apprehends a hacker suspected of targeting NATO and the U.S. Army. India's Reserve Bank of India unveils a unique bank domain to address digital banking fraud.
FBI and Dutch police interrupt phishing group known as manipulators. Hacker alleges OpenAI breach, selling 20 million login credentials. Meta takes action against leakers. Quantum teleportation is utilized to spread a calculation. Docker Bake is now widely available in Docker Desktop 4.38, enhancing the efficiency of Docker builds. In the UK, the Tornado 2 Tempest fighter jet component recycling project has begun successfully, with old fighter jets being melted down and 3D printed into new ones.
Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition. February 8th, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Trump announces the termination of Biden's classified intelligence briefings as a retaliatory action, alongside the revocation of Joe Biden's security clearance. Trump intensifies his lawsuit against CBS 60 Minutes, now seeking $20 billion, claiming that the 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris unjustly redirected viewers away from his Truth Social platform. The Pentagon removes Walpo and CNN from its offices, opting instead for the Daily Caller, the Free Press, and other media outlets.